When it comes to all my time on the internet, there's one thing I know for certain. When there's a big video game franchise, fans will try to show their appreciation through many forms. Whether it's art, fan fiction, or other mediums, these are all things that most fans are known to make when they really enjoy a series. And one fan base that's known for expressing their love more than others, whether for better or for worse, is the Sonic fandom. Now, the Sonic fanbase is a little infamous for its showings of appreciation for the series. Now, despite their very infamous record, the Sonic fanbase does one thing right with fan appreciation, and that is the fan games. I think there's no other fan game that shows this better than Sonic Robo Blast 2. Now, Sonic Robo Blast 2 is one of the most interesting fan games in the fandom, being that it is one of the oldest, starting all the way back in the 90s, the olden days, the ancient times. And you know what else came out in those ancient times? Doom, which surprisingly enough, also has the same engine this fan game runs on, which means you'll probably be able to run this fan game on a toaster if you try hard enough. Now, the game itself consists of the same stuff you would get in the classic Sonic Genesis games, but now reimagined in 3D. Same type of act structure, same character variety, hell, even some of the same tropes. But Sonic Robo Blast 2 twists and turns these aspects in very unique ways and makes it its own, by including certain things like some characters from older games, and even some very unique bosses and stages. Which is why I think showing off these stages might give a better reason to show why this fan game's unique. Now that we're on to stages, I think we should start with the first stage of the game, being Flower Hill Zone. Flower Hill Zone acts as a better version of Green Hill Zone that I think a lot of people would enjoy to see in an actual modern Sonic game. While still thematically being very similar to Green Hill Zone, it has a lot of set pieces that are memorable, like an underwater segment, waterfalls, and many branching underground paths, which is still a lot better than what we got in Sonic Forces, with the whole
Green Hill's looking a lot more like Sand Hill right now.
And the different structure between the acts makes it even more unique, with Act 1 being a very smooth introductory course, while Act 2 having a lot of verticality to it, showing off grandiose settings and structures with many branching paths. And once you get through all that, you get to the Act boss, being Eggman, but he flies around and shoots a bunch of lasers. Now this boss is broken up into two different phases. The first phase, he flies around and shoots lasers. And in the second phase, he's angry and now he shoots 3 lasers. Like that's any more intimidating. Of course, after you beat the boss, you'll go on to the next stage. But I don't want to talk about the next stage after that. I want to talk about a bit of a later stage, being Castle Eggman Zone. A zone that shows off the creativity of the Sonic Robo Blast 2 team. The most creative stage in all of Sonic Robo Blast 2 has to be Castle Eggman Zone. It really shows what the team of Sonic Robo Blast 2 can really do once they let their creativity let loose. The act starts with you being outside the castle, and showing the outside of the castle is a great set piece. It's raining, there's a lot of cool little moments, like there's these little things that slingshot you, and there's even a Dark Souls reference in the first act. Could you say this is the Dark Souls of Sonic fan games? I sure hope you don't though, because that's really, really stupid. Who even makes that comparison anymore anyways? While the stage has really good set play and really memorable moments, the boss can't have the same thing set for him. He has these spike balls that move around the stage, and you have to hit these buttons to reveal the opportunity to attack him in his first phase. And it's not all that great. The window's pretty small, you have to jump in a very specific way, and the arena keeps breaking, making the buttons really hard to hit. At least for me. This boss gave me a good bit of trouble up until I played as Fang, who could hit the buttons really well and has a ranged attack, making this boss almost trivial. Speaking of Fang, how about I give a quick second to highlight the characters in the game. The first 3 characters we're going to be covering are the original 3, and I'm going to keep it short and brief for you because everyone knows what they do. Sonic, he runs fast, he does everything in the most normal levels possible, and he has a cool air dash in this game. Tails, he's the best character. He can fly, and that's kinda it. And Knuckles, well, he's Knuckles. He glides, he has a lower jump height, but he can get through certain obstacles the others can't. Also in the game, there's unlockable characters, and I'm only going to tell you one, which is Fang the Hunter, who's, recently showed up in more recent Sonic games. Fang's whole thing is that he can't jump into a ball like the others, but he has a cool spring bounce on his tail, and he can shoot his gun, giving him the only ranged attack out of all the unlockable characters. But there's one other way to get more characters in the game, and that way is modding. Modded characters are an essential part of the game made by the fanbase that is officially supported. You can go on the Sonic Robo Blast 2 forums to get basically any modded character you want that has already been made, which this can lead to some more interesting characters and really cool creations. while other times they can lead to more strange results. One of the really cool character mods I want to talk about right now is Kiryu Kazuma from the Yakuza series. He is one of the most fun mods I've ever played in this game. Kiryu is insane with his movement, he has so many callbacks to the original series, and he works in tandem with other mods really well. Another character that they added as a mod to the game is the IDW Sonic comic character srb2 Tenrik, and she plays just exactly as you'd expect, or maybe even more so. She's very similar to Sonic with her own unique gimmicks and mechanics, and I hope Sega eventually implements her into an actual game one day, and hopefully takes inspiration from this moveset. But, you know, in the land of modded characters, there's some strange choices you can make for your options. But it's not like I'd have any of those installed, right? Right? So it seems I have hit YouTuber Germa installed on here. Yeah. His moveset consists of doing whatever that is. There's not much I can really say about this mod. It's Germa. I don't know what you expect from me. And one more weird mod twist of events, there's Tails' Doom guy. Cause yeah, that's what we all needed to imagine. Tails going through Doom Eternal, killing everything. While this is one of the more fun, weird characters I've ever played, I don't know if it's actually possible to beat the game with him. On Act 2 of Flower Hill Zone, I just can't get past a certain part, so I think it's genuinely impossible to beat the game with him, making him probably the only character I have that you genuinely can't beat the game with, which is a little weird for modded characters to say the least. But beside all that weirdness, there's also modded game modes. Like, there's one that turns the game into Pizza Tower, and there's another that turns the game into a turn-based RPG like Persona, which even has support for other mods like Kiryu. There's also Sonic Roboblast Kart 2, but I'm gonna save that one for another video since it's basically its own game. But I think now it's time to draw things to a bit of a conclusion. That's in the budget, right? No. What do you mean no? You can't just end the video abruptly. Let me at least say some parting words. Like how they can go down to the description and, you know, download the game. What? 5 more seconds? You just can't end the video on